All right, buddy, how's it going? So welcome in, Scott. How you doing today?
Hey, Clayton, how are you, man?
Doing good. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about your business?
So with my business, work exclusively in tech. It's just so happens I have a career in tech as well through enterprise. So it kind of meshes together and the tech stuff I've always gravitated toward. I got
Hmm.
started back in 2002 as far as my
Yep.
degree. Before then, I was around with the GeoCities, front page, early times of AOL, ICQ. I can just go back and be nostalgic before MySpace. So that's
Okay.
how I kind of got started in all this. And then I just kind of stayed in tech and, just help people with anything tech. I know that sounds kind of like shotgun strategy, but as far as like a specific niche, it's just basically business owners who are kind of like me. You have a
Hmm.
career, you have a family. I've been married for 17 years. We got a 16-year-old son and have the business. So it's always something moving going on. And that's who I specifically help.
Awesome. So what was the sorry, what was that drew you to tech in the first place?
What was that again?
What was it that drew you to tech in the
Oh,
first place?
the troubleshooting. It was, I've always had that brain, that solution oriented, the fixer,
Hmm.
and that's just always been in, just part of how I process things, even when I was a young kid. The first gaming system, I don't think I ever had a Commodore. Had an Atari and then Nintendo.
Okay.
So what drew me to the tech was, you have gaming systems, that's a little bit of a tech. And it's like, you have to like take the cartridge out, blow in it, banging on it. So like that kind of like was cool to me. And it kind of let me know, oh, don't do that. So it's like just the technical stuff. I never got into programming. I understand programming and engineering and coding, but I've never not really, like, got into it. I've been more of the support role. I've been the middleman between the consumers and the engineer. So what
Hmm.
really got me tech was just the troubleshooting and just, tinkering. A lot of people are very mechanical. They go out to mess with the cars and stuff and just kinda mess with computers. It's been a while since I've opened up a computer, just because I have Mac now, but, other than that, that's how I kinda got started a little bit, just being more hands-on in the troubleshooting part.
So you're the guy that could actually take the Game Boy game apart and put it back together, and it worked afterward.
Yeah. Yeah, and just as you said, blowing out, the compressed air. You had to
Yeah.
have there was the A plus repair kits. You had like a little brush go in there, and so, yeah.
Dang, yeah, we used to use butter knives. You're pretty hardcore, man.
Butter knives, there you go, yeah. You don't need a screwdriver.
Yeah, smashing
Butter
connectors
knives and
with
sharp
butter
knives,
knives and see
yep,
if it works.
or even
That's
spoons.
why our car never worked. Yeah. Cool, man. So you had you worked in the tech space for a while, kind of connecting the tech people with the client. So what led you from there to deciding, hey, I want to start my own business?
I got laid off. I got laid off
Mm,
over something stupid, from I was an IT admin. Basically, they were paying me a lot more than what they could bring someone new in. They wanted to kind of
mm,
mold them, and I was hourly, so I was raking up a lot of hours. So they brought someone in that was salary, and they did, that I get that. You're a business. You got to look at your
yeah.
bottom line in return. Yeah, I was a little sour for a little bit, but within 6 months, actually within 3 months, got me a new job, and then within 3 months of that, I was like, I don't want this to repeat again. This is back
Hmm.
in 2016.
Mm,
Yeah, October 2016 was when I actually started my own business. So I said, I'm doing this. I still had the second job career, which I still have now, but it was like,
hmm.
that's not going to happen to me again. So
Hmm.
I just started doing the business and along with the job. And, it can be a struggle at times, even with tech. My mind's going and it's like, I've got to learn to compartmentalize. That's one thing that I had to learn starting out is compartmentalize, your activities for your career and your business and the different outcomes. So that's it was just one of those things that I know a lot of people struggle
Yeah.
with, and I've just kind of found my strategy that could like prevent that in a way. So
Okay. So how do you compartmentalize then?
I take a
Like,
deep
what is?
breath. As far as we talk about compartmentalizing mentally. But, like, if I'm working on a career, like code switching, context switching, where you're doing stuff in your job, now you're doing stuff with the family and in the business, and it's like the best thing to compartmentalize is to kind of like go away. Like before I go into business, if I'm doing like the job or anything, I'll go outside. I'll do like a quick,
Hmm.
maybe 5, 10 minute workout, something silly, or play with the dogs, come back and come back in. It's a lot easier to compartmentalize and reset when you just don't go directly into something. That's how people get burned out. They go from job,
Mm.
they go from the job, the family, the business without taking a break, without taking the time away, without decompressing so that you can compartmentalize more effectively.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that I definitely see that in myself and people I know where we have this feeling that we need to always be on, right? Especially in business, it always feels wrong if you're not always on. And I think it's important sometimes just to kind of take that minute and be like, I don't have to be on in every area at all times. I just need to be on in one place, and then I can even sometimes not be on.
Yeah, you got to be on, you know, for a set time. For like, whether you're doing the Pomodoro technique or you're just taking and scheduling blocks. I know we have this call and then you have another call. You have a schedule in your calendar. It's the same way. Schedule your time for your career, your calls, your lead generation, whatever.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool.
It's easy to compartmentalize when you're just kind of not on all the time. You don't have to be
Hmm.
on with your business. It's not going to burn down. It's going to be there tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's really important to take the time away from it. Otherwise, you'll burn out, get stressed out. You'll have time away from family. But where's dad at? So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, got to smell time. Take the time to smell the flowers, I guess.
You're right. You gotta go outside and touch some grass or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. And so you you're working from home and you have your business you're working from home and talking about compartmentalizing. How is there a way that you organize your day then to where you can do those things and manage the other things? You have a process that you use? I mean, you talked about how to manage shifting those gears, but is there a way like you block your schedule or a process or a method that you use as far as how to manage that time and keep everything in its order?
It's just Google Calendar, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Google Calendar. I've tried so many different softwares, and then it's like from Basecamp or different project management like Rike or what is it? ClickUp. Lots of different ones. Monday, and it's just the calendar. There's no
Mm,
reason to spend money on all these different project management. Now, if you're running an agency and you have a lot of clients, you have a big team, yes. But
mm-hmm.
like probably you and me, we're very, minimal. I like to be very minimalist because when you're very
Yeah.
minimalist, you can focus more on your ROI than having to worry about, having to stay with the Joneses and try to keep up with this software and this and that. So it's just about the calendar, number one, Google Calendar, Google Tasks.
Mm,
Google Tasks is very simple,
yeah.
very doesn't require a lot of automations or functionality. It's not like Asana or Monday, and you want something simple. And again, if you're not an agency owner, don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about what agency owners and big time marketers and six-figure millionaires, all that stuff, because they have a big team and they have bigger clients. So when you're
Right.
starting out, even if you're like me, who like to keep it simple and minimal, go lean. I always try to help
Yeah.
people as lean as possible. And I know that's probably one of the biggest bottlenecks I see business owners is they have to get a school account, then they got to go high level, then they got to get a
Yeah.
Zapier. And it's like, no, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times, probably gonna hold ahead of myself, but most people don't even know what they want in their business. So they think buying all these different tools is gonna help them when it's really not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of crazy you're saying that 'cause the whole time we're talking about this in my head, I was like, I can think of all the times where I've been in a situation where somebody's breaking down this whole process and I'm like, I need an employee to like do each of these different things. Like, how the heck could I even do that by myself, like with all this different stuff? So I like that you come from that sort of direction of like minimalist and keeping it to where it's manageable for the individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it keeps
Um,
your stress down too. That's the other thing. Just think about it. The more money that you put into your business or buying these tools
mhm,
and stuff, if you don't see the outcome, it's going to put some financial stress on you, especially if you're not
mhm,
compartmentalized. So you just
right.
have to understand that take one step at a time.
Mhm,
A lot of different this softwares and tools have trial accounts. So
yeah.
just cancel it for the trial account unless you're gonna, unless you have like a strategy or plan to use it. Most people don't, unfortunately, but that's fine. You
Right.
can just test different software, and it's a lot easier for like the average person.
Yeah, 'cause I've seen a lot of people too where it's like they kinda end up giving up on their business because they almost feel like all the stuff is too expensive. They're like, "I've been doing this thing for months. I'm spending, $1,000 a month," or probably not that much, but, whatever insert number here, feels like a lot of money, and it's like, I'm not even getting anything out of my business, but I'm putting all this money out, and then, like, that's the thing that gets them to give up. It's not even sometimes that the parts you think it is when it's really like they're just tired of watching that money leave the bank account for stuff they don't even
Yeah,
understand
exactly.
probably how to use.
You're starting a business, and unless you have
Mhm,
the funds or the capital, there's no reason for you to put a lot of money into it by buying all the software when you
mhm,
haven't even gotten the product, you haven't even gotten your offer. I mean, you haven't
mhm,
even validated anything, and you're gonna go start buying a building, all this stuff, and, oh, what really matters is your offer and helping
mhm,
other people. So,
right. Yeah, it's almost like it drags online business back to almost trying to be a little bit of brick and mortar where you used to have the money to go and open the business because you need the location, you need the advertising, you have to
yeah.
build the location, you need all this stuff. And it's like, oh, we have the internet. And that's super, you know, affordable, but difficult. And now it's easy, but more expensive. And it's like, but is it? Because, you need like a YouTube channel on your cell phone.
Right?
And it's like, but it feels like, no, you need this thing, you need that thing, or you need these 1,700 different tools. But yeah, then you just end up in the stage of like where you're just burnt out trying to learn every new tool and you're not moving your business anywhere because
Yeah,
you're
don't do
like,
that to yourself. Don't burn out. Don't burn out before you
yeah,
get started. Don't get
right,
burnt out before your first 30 to 90 days.
right.
Stop paying for anything, put that credit card away, and utilize free trials and free software. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been there. I've done it. I made that
Yeah.
mistake myself. And this time around, just having to like slap myself in the hand and be like, just don't do that dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
think one of the only things I'm paying for right now is, Riverside, which we're using to record this, and, school. And that's about it.
There you go. See? Very simple.
Hmm. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you. 'Cause I can
Yeah.
feel that one.
And then when you
So,
start making more money, you can expand or,
right.
get the next tier up to, Riverside or school, whatever, however
Hmm.
you use it. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so I find it interesting that the tech guy is like minimal tech,
Yeah,
but I like that. That's good because it's honest, right? It's not like, hey,
it is. I mean, we used to be, back in the ClickFunnels days, I used to work for ClickFunnels back in
uh-huh,
2017. And so it's always about you got to get a funnel, you got to get the webinar platform, you got to get an autoresponder. This is before pre high level. So you had
mm,
to have all these different pieces together.
mm,
And, that's where a lot of people starting out were like, whoa, that's a lot versus you can find a ClickFunnels or go high level or whatever it is and just be as minimal as possible.
yeah, nice, nice, nice. I guess a question I'm wondering about is like, from your perspective, your experience, would that be the biggest piece of advice you would give then somebody who's just starting a business is, keep it minimal, keep it simple?
Yeah. If you're just starting a business, yeah, number one, keep it simple, keep it minimal. But the biggest one, you probably heard this before. I learned this the hard way. I thought, hey, I'm in tech. I'm a smart guy. I can do it.
Uh,
It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with your capacity.
mm,
And your capacity will only allow you one offer, one product, one system, one platform. When you try to
okay.
jump, that's where you get the opportunity jumpers, you get your burnout, you get analysis paralysis, you're
Mm-hmm.
stressed out, and you haven't even made your first dollar yet, and you're stressed
Right.
because of all. So focus on one system. And when I say system, I mean like platform. Focus on like if you're, however you're delivering, like maybe it's school or go high
Mm-hmm.
level. Some people don't even have either one. They just have Facebook and they use Google Docs as part of their website or web page. And here's a doc that goes over what it is that I'm selling. They have a Stripe. Stripe's free. And they pay
Mm-hmm.
processing, but it's free for you to sign up. Give them a
Yeah.
Stripe link. Poof. You didn't have to worry about an upsell. You didn't have to worry about an order bump. All that's
Mm-hmm.
great. Don't get me wrong. If you have all those assets and things going on, but if
Mm-hmm.
you're starting out, you're not going to have an order bump, an upsell, and
Mm-hmm.
your one ticket, your high ticket offer. You're going to have one thing, and then you build on to it. just like
Yeah.
building a house. You're just not going to go in, find an area, and build the whole thing. You're going to start with the foundation first, and then it goes up by the level. And I
Right.
think some people just aren't aware that, oh, I got to make money now. It's that fear of missing out. I got to make money now. I just lost my job. If you just lost your job, you might want to find a second job temporarily,
Hmm.
or do something on the side, DoorDash, or helping somebody with the lands, something of that nature,
Yeah.
versus trying to rack up your debt, trying to make the business work, and then you got to worry about that first monthly payment on that credit card when you haven't even made any money yet. So that financial stress, it's not necessary starting out. I
Right.
see so many people doing it, and then they say,
And
"Oh, that's a scam." Network
hmm
marketing's a scam. ClickFunnels is a scam. Go hire them. Oh, that stuff don't work. It does work. You just
yeah.
got overloaded, stressed out, and you didn't have
Hmm.
anybody like myself or you there to be like, "Hey, let's go back to the basics. Let's go with step one."
Yeah. Yep. One step at a time. We say
Yeah,
that for a reason.
literally. Not one giant leap at a time, one
Yeah.
small step at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, heck, even going to the moon, right? They said one giant leap, but it was years of a lot of people doing a
Yeah,
lot of little things that led to
exactly.
that one giant leap. It was, it was,
It's like compound
and
interest. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it was an entire industry and reconstruction of the education system and all these things that came into that one giant leap that,
yeah,
nobody actually sees. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
man.
So I think it's definitely a very good grounding thing. um, all right, man. Well, Scott, where is it that people can find you at online?
Then go to scottlucassolutions.com.
Mm-hmm.
As minimal as I am, it looks like a very link tree. It's like a link tree
Mm-hmm.
feel to it, but I built it to high level.
All right.
And basically, you can go on there to do your due diligence. I'm a big believer in doing your due diligence. Before anybody were to reach out to me or you
Mm-hmm.
know, Google me. I'm on Facebook. I'm very friendly. Only time when I'm not friendly is if you cross me, but I'm sure that's anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just very honest and transparent if you can't tell. I don't mince words. I just keep it short and sweet to the point, like my business.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to scottlucassolutions.com. You can find out the reviews on there, go to YouTube, or you can send me an email. I
Perfect.
like to keep things as personal as possible. And I think email is the most less intrusive way versus a phone call, a text,
Mm-hmm.
or even an in the messenger. We always get DMs, "Hey, I
Right.
want to pitch you on this and that," and the email's more less informal and more
Mm-hmm.
actual, more personality to it.
Yeah.
Or as
Yeah.
me. So
It kind of forces you to actually say a little bit of something rather than like a, hey, Scott, blah, 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 send.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I love automations. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I
Yeah.
don't mind automations, but I keep my automations to a minimal just because
Mm.
unless I'm doing lead magnet or cold marketing, yes, I'll do
Yeah.
automations, all that. But if it's like trying to be very personal, like with you or anybody I meet locally, man, just
Yeah.
just ping me on Facebook, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
fantastic. Do you have any last thoughts or anything you want to add, Scott?
No, man. I guess the one thing is one of the big things I really want to focus more on and helping people in my tech is the mindset of it. Kind of like we just
Mm-hmm.
kind of talked about, some very your minimum viable operations.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that's your mindset. A
Yeah.
lot of people come into business with the wrong mindset. They have a lot of assumptions based off what they think they see or think that they hear. Oh, well, so and so did this, but I know this millionaire who did this and all that. But you've got to follow one person if you're going to accomplish one thing versus so
Mm.
many different things. So just the mindset on it is just to be very strategic, be simple.
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard what is it? KISS, keep it simple.
Yep.
Keep it simple. Literally. You talk to like the Russell Brunsons, the Tony Robbins, you Dean DeGrazis, all these different people. They might have what they have here now, but they
Mm-hmm.
started with one thing, very focused.
Yeah.
They pursued that. And that's the one thing that you really, really need to get is just don't try to do two or three businesses at once.
Mm-hmm.
Find one that is more aligned. People say, "Oh, find something that your heart's in or your gut instinct." Yes and no. You got to find something that's really aligned with you. Like tech.
Mm-hmm.
Tech is really aligned with me. That's not just because I do as career, but anything that you're doing. if you can find something that you're really aligned, you don't have to force yourself to show up.
Hmm.
You're not stressed, and it's something that you would want to do regardless. So
Yeah.
that's probably the main thing I want people to kind of take away from this.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, I think it's important because I try to do things I don't really care about. And I would try to do things that I do care about too much. And it's almost like there's a sweet spot in there where it's like you
Yeah,
can ruin something you love, and at the same time, if you don't like it, you're just not going to do it. It's just miserable, and you're pulling teeth every day, and you're not
yeah.
going to do it.
You don't want to do that. That just adds
Yeah.
undue stress, and then a stressed mind cannot create a solution. You
Hmm.
can, it's forced, but it's not as aligned and relaxed as it should be.
Yeah. That's true. Awesome, man. Awesome. Thanks, Scott. Well, I appreciate you
Yeah, man.
coming on here. Yeah. Thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, thank you.